Alright, I've been told we have a new candidate for worst horror movie of the year. Tarot. And I personally think that's bold when Strangers Chapter 1 came out, but I guess we're gonna find out. So I thought it would just be fun to watch this review with my initial reactions going through, because I really don't think that anything in this is gonna require a lot of serious critical thinking from me or breakdowns or explanations. And I've heard two things about this movie, either that it is totally god-awful or that it's kind of goofy fun, and that can be fun to just kind of like let it take us on a ride. And if it does suck, at least it's only an hour and a half long. Too many of these trash horror movies have this like sense of self-importance that they feel like they need to draw out their runtime exponentially, and there's no reason for that. Imaginary was pushing like an hour and 45 minutes. And I haven't looked up anything about this movie. One of my friends told me that it's basically just a bunch of college kids dying based on tarot cards, which provides a lot of options for us here today. And I will say I was a little bit worried when it first started, because it's setting the tone immediately with that like light, upbeat indie tunes that feel like they'd be more at home in the latest teen rom-com, but no, it's just college kids drinking in the woods. I, for one, would probably want to pop on my own tunes for the occasion, and to do that, I turn to today's sponsor, Raycon. That way you don't have to be separated from my Midwest Princess jams, but I can just pop on awareness mode and still be involved and engaged with the group. Raycon's everyday earbuds have been a staple in my setup for years. And they just sent me some new models with some nifty new features like active noise cancellation, which is great for traveling on planes, quick charge so they're always ready to go, multi-point connectivity, and then all the other features you've grown to love and expect from Raycon. They still come with multiple sizes of gel tips, so you can always find your perfect fit and comfortable pairing. And that's still my favorite feature, the comfort. If I'm gonna shove something in my ear canal, I need it to be comfortable. Quite literally the only earbuds I've been able to wear lying down. Same audio quality you expect, still at half the price compared to other premium brands, a 30-day happiness guarantee if you're not satisfied, and they come in a selection of fun new colors as well as these new protective cases in case you're just feeling like adding a little bit more pizzazz to your setup. So make sure to check out everything Raycon has to offer today by going to buyraycon.com/Jedi or clicking the link in the description down below to save 15% off your Raycon purchase. But back to tarot, pretty classic setup here. We got a group of 20-somethings drinking in the woods, but the rich friend of the group rented out a secluded mansion for her girlfriend's birthday. And they're playing a game of most likely to, because I'm guessing they're probably getting kind of close to college graduation until it gets to the who's most likely to get married first. And it's unanimously Haley and Grant who don't seem to agree. I personally would have pegged it on the gals here. They're all cozy. But yeah, they could not make it any more obvious that this is not a happy couple. They are not even near each other. At least Spidey guy in the chair can tell that the vibes are off. And yeah, apparently they just broke up and still went on this group trip without either of them giving anyone else a heads up. And I kind of like the tone this is setting. It's a little bit goofy. She says it's because he's not ambitious enough. He says he's too ambitious.
We could start our own book club.
Love a friend like that. Be the breakup book club friend. So already I'm seeing the telltale signs that they are setting up for a more goofy style horror movie, which I am definitely down for, again, as long as it commits. But the group realizes that they are down to the last beer, shocked that they've managed to drink this much. I'm also shocked along with them because not a single one of them seems to be shoisted or sloshed. Then Haley here was a dumbass and offered to drive to get more, but bestie, that's dumb. Y'all pounded through a supply of alcohol in one night and you just went through a breakup and you want to drive at night in the woods? I assume this was just a really drive home how far away they were from any kind of help, because they comment that, you know, even if it wasn't so late at night, no one would really deliver anything to them either. But no, it really was just about the alcohol. So our dear spider pal here suggests that, you know, an old house like this must have some fancy alcohol hidden somewhere. You know, that just seems like a really good way to get kicked off the Airbnb platform, but okay, we'll steal the host's goodies. Of course, they then come across a door that says keep out, so obviously they break the lock and head right on in.
They're gonna charge me for that, you know?
Yeah, no shit.
Bad news first. No alcohol here.
Sir, there is a globe right there. Those are often bars. Why is no one checking the globe? Someday I will have a globe liquor cabinet and it will not fit any of the other decor and it will be fantastic. Who the fuck am I talking about decor? There's a Spider-Man standee behind me. Instead, they just end up looking at all this weird stuff that reminds me of the cabin in the woods basement with all the monster items. Like we got this weird geological stuff, a bunch of witchy stuff, and then Ned finds this pentagram tarot box. I don't remember his name in this movie clearly. We will get there, but for now, I'm just imagining that this is Ned from Spider-Man with his group of college friends after he forgets who Peter Parker is. Actually, this whole basement scene feels a lot like Cabin in the Woods. Like they just found a Zoltaire-esque fortune box and then they just end up focusing more on the tarot cards. It's making me wonder, like, whoever's in here is like very obsessed with knowing the future and fortune, and then the haunted item they picked up just happens to be the tarot cards, and maybe we could have had a fake Zoltaire horror movie too. Maybe that's what's coming next. Oh my god, that's what's coming next. But conveniently enough, Haley here seems to be a little bit of a tarot expert, specifically astrological tarot readings, bringing the zodiac girlies to new heights with that combination, and the box literally has the zodiac signs around the pentagram, so seems like an intentional connection there. I guess it just makes the readings more accurate because it's taking your own personal position in the cosmos into account. Apparently, I'm the strength card.
My grandma says tarot cards son del demonio.
What?
Devil shit.
Even without the fact that they're tarot cards making it devil shit, this looks like literal devil shit. Look at those handmade cards. Hand-painted, ultra-violent, super bloody. Maybe we just leave them alone. Clearly they don't. I have no idea why they set this up like a seance, though. A literal gust of wind goes through the house when she opens the box. That's like clue number 3 at this point to put them away. And she actually wants to stop and points out that, using someone else's deck of tarot cards is actually super bad luck, and it's kind of an unspoken rule not to do it. But the birthday girl really wants to do it, and that's all it takes. Just idiots. All of them. Like, if you guys want to do the readings that bad, just go find something and make your own from stuff around the house. But birthday girl Elise here gets the priestess.
She could cause you to slip up and suffer a crushing blow.
Oh my god, is this like say cheese and die? Are the metaphorical meanings gonna get literal? I understand that that's not at all like the Goosebumps classic Say Cheese and Die, where they take pictures of each other and then see horrible accidents happening to them, and then those accidents then happen, but it's giving similar. I will not elaborate. Also, Ned's name in this movie is actually Paxton, so there goes my brief thoughts of a multiverse expansion.
You may even find technology failing for no reason.
Okay, so is she like gonna run into issues and then not be able to call for help because she can't get off her phone for the whole movie? She also got the hanged man, so that one seems a little bit obvious. So Paxton's up and he gets the fool. That just seems like a little bit on the nose for the comedic relief, but you know what? We'll allow it. It's fun. And apparently this all comes together for him to show up for his friends in unexpected ways. So cool, man, you're gonna be the one who found the cards, which is dooming a bunch of your friends, but then you'll get to help out some way at the end, so I guess that's nice. Next is Luke, who's giving me some evil vampire on a teen show vibes, but he gets the hermit, which might lead him astray. And then Grant does decide he wants in on it.
I don't know my star sign or whatever.
Really?
Oh no, I'm with Grant. Actually, I think that might in fact increase my survival chances. I'm not getting the vibe that this is a Midsommar scenario. I feel like he's probably gonna make it out on the other side of this.
Leos are also headstrong and arrogant and always need to be right.
Okay, I don't always need to be right. I worked on that trait. Obviously, this just evolves into him assuming she's taking jabs at their relationship. She swears she isn't, but obviously it kind of feels like she is. And he gets the devil, which means that he has to face his demons and make sacrifices or he'll lose someone important. Which gave me the impression that he dumped her, but it was the other way around, so I don't know. And if you thought Haley was instantly gonna be safe because she's the one doing the readings, nope, he tells her to read her own cards as he stomps off, so no one's safe here. And her reading apparently comes out the same way it always does, that love's gonna be the death of her. Corny.
Dumb.
Stupid. Stinks.
Okay, I'm gonna guess that unfortunately, birthday girl and her girlfriend are going to die. Luke and the phone girl are going to die. Haley's almost gonna die, but then Grant's gonna face his demons and do something, or Paxton's gonna pull through and save them, or some combination of this, unless we get like an alt ending where Haley does die in some kind of sacrifice for other people. Obviously, there's different options. They could go way more chill. Maybe less people will die. Maybe everyone will die, but this seems mostly accurate. I feel very confident that the first 4 people I said were gonna die will die, and fairly confident that the remaining 3 will survive. So everyone goes to bed, they put the cards back, and oh no, astrological signs around the pentagram start lighting up. We've activated the stars. Yo, we just got our own personal flashback to some witchy times. It looks like the witch killed herself when making these cards. Damn. So I'm guessing that's why we have some cursed tarot cards here. Why you'd want to curse attach yourself to some cards is beyond me, but I'm sure we'll find out. And then they give us the intro card almost 20 minutes in. What do you think you are, cinema? I really thought they were just gonna have that be someone's nightmare that they wake up from, but interesting shift there. And then we immediately get another subversion. The next morning, they leave. They're heading back to college. I really thought that this was all gonna take place in the house, but we're gonna get some college shenanigans. But this also just really makes me wonder why Haley and Grant didn't tell them that they broke up on the drive to the house. Wouldn't that have made the most sense so people knew before they got there and didn't do anything awkward? Like, I don't know, say that you're the most likely to get married?
His corpse was found tangled in the creek like a soft pretzel.
What is this?
Okay, see? It's goofy. I'm gonna allow it for now. He's a true crime fan. I gotta say though, I love a curse that follows them outside that first location, because it seems to already be starting up. Luke just won $700 on a scratcher, and she said he was gonna come into money. So they all get back and split off their separate ways, and oh no, I think the redhead is gonna die first because she was the first one to get her reading done. God, hers was so obvious it would slip up and have a devastating blow, and now she just got out of a tub with wet feet? Could be a bait and switch though. I don't think she's just gonna slip and hit herself on the tub, though that would make it the most like, oh, this was just a random accident. But I do find that a lot of the times these horror movies try to put the more extreme deaths earlier on. Oh fuck, an attic ladder randomly appeared and that dummy is gonna go up there, isn't she? I would just promptly go back to my room. It also kind of feels weird that this dorm house has a tub, but sure, okay, we just gotta go to bed. Oh, and of course she's alone because everyone else is out having a good time and partying, but she's decided she's out alcoholed herself as a college student on her birthday. Girl, go to your room and lock the door. Oh, thank God she actually shuts it. I'm not gonna call her for just going out to bed after this and not assuming that someone's actually up there. I could absolutely see an old house like this, that just kind of thing shifting, something falling. I'd just lock the door and go to sleep with some mild apprehension.
What was that noise?
Oh no, more creepy noises in the hall. I feel like I heard giggling. So of course she goes to examine. Girl, just stay in your room. Oh no, the ladder's back down. Okay, now you just leave. You just run out of the building or lock down in that room way harder. Ooh, creepy figure in the hallway. No. And of course it's gonna be gone the second the lights turn. Yep. And then she also starts to hear the giggling and assumes it has to be some of the other dorm girls back early and messing with her. Fair assessment. I still wouldn't go up that ladder though. I also wouldn't have gotten off the phone, but whatever. And of course no one's up there. She's gonna just get jump scared to her death.
Is someone there?
Girl, back down the ladder. What is wrong with you? Even the actor can tell this is dumb because she's not selling this at all. And then it snaps her back to the attic being perfectly set up for an ancient ritual with the priestess card right in front of her. Are they gonna do the thing where they have the card pull away and then the thing is actually in front? Yeah, there she is. Oh no, it wasn't an instant death. That's not slipping to your crushing demise. The priestess is taking a very active role in this brutality. Damn, killing the gay character first with this level of brutality, not homophobia, not during Pride Month, ignoring the fact that this came out in May. So that sucks, but I guess that means next up should be Phone Girl, but maybe not because the hermit is already stalking Luke around from the alleyways. I tried seeing if it had to do with the order of like their zodiac signs, but that also doesn't make sense, so guess not. Guess it's just killing opportunistically. So Haley's there for Paige emotionally, and that leads us to some background story. I still think the line delivery of
Love's gonna be the death of me
is corny as hell, but apparently her mom got sick when she was younger, and no matter how many readings she did, her mom always died, so it makes it a little bit less melodramatic. But she's basically explaining all this so Paige doesn't blame herself for not being there when Elise died.
You can't change fate.
Well, it certainly seems like you changed fate by truffling with what ought not be truffled with. But sure, you were always supposed to be brutally murdered. And yeah, while all this is happening, Luke does start getting hunted down. It's not the phone girl up next. I guess they said homophobia, yes, but we will chill on the misogyny for one kill. I'm not actually being serious about that, by the way. Be nice to me. I don't think that the horror movie is being homophobic and misogynistic. It's a joke. So the hermit is pretty chilling, but dude should just have to go the opposite way. Like, don't go towards the light. Don't be led astray. But I think that's actually letting the light lead him astray because he's just going in the opposite direction of everything he sees, and it's pushing him into one direction, but either way he's fucked. He's either running away from it or into it. And yeah, he's pushed right into that restricted zone. Oh good, electricity and a wet floor. No, why did they make it lame? That's so goofy and not to the tone that this character is afforded. He's not the comic relief character, no. Well, I suppose his reading was about being led down the wrong track, and yeah, this is pretty literal. He somehow ends up on an abandoned train adjacent to a track while being bullied by the graffiti. See, that is the infinitely more effective thing comes at you fast, take notes imaginary. And yeah, it scares him into an oncoming train. Wild, at least his was fast.
Paramedics responded to a report of an unresponsive person near the tracks at Haymarket Station.
Really? He was listed as an unresponsive person and not vaguely human-shaped splatter? Okay. So they realize 2 people in their friend group dying this quickly is a little bit weird, and Paxton starts to wonder if one of the group could be a murderer before Haley's like, oh shit, guys, it was my reading. It's fate. Except fate we generated. She didn't say that last part. That's me just throwing that in.
Capricorns are rule breakers. He was in a restricted area.
She's just saying that with entirely too much sincerity. Sure, we know that he went into that area because of fear, but yeah, no, it's actually because he was a Capricorn all along. Like, they did kind of set that up because he's the one who broke the basement door, but like, come on, this is just so funny. This is what the TikTok girlies sound like.
He's an earth sign. They found him in the dirt.
No, oh my god, that's so fucking funny. It's because it's just delivered with such genuine sincerity and not some very dark joke. Man, it would actually be really funny if Paxton just reached out to a true crime podcast and was like, we're all dying in mysterious ways based on tarot readings. Please help us and document. Shit, that's where we need to go idea-wise. Someone needs to start documenting their mysterious friend group deaths after messing with things that ought not be messed with, and then build it out from there. That's a fun one. Like a hybrid found footage. Obviously, Grant comes in with the voice of reason that would be correct in literally any other situation, that her mind is just trying to find a way to process the tragedy, but obviously it's not the case here.
What's your password?
Password.
Oh my god. Seriously?
Okay, that got an audible chuckle out of me. I want them all to be covert comic relief characters, but I love him. Now, I thought they were gonna look up the house and see if it had any kind of sinister history, but no. She looks up horoscope deaths. Again, I feel like the word tarot needs to be put in there, but whatever. It immediately shows a bunch of articles by the same woman, Alma Astrom, who for years has been writing about these mysterious deaths following tarot readings. Grant instantly finds that she's largely been discredited in the community, but of course they set off to hit her up. Honestly, even if I didn't believe any of this, I'd still be down. I love a potentially life-saving adventure. We can get snacks. Sadly, I think one of the major issues with this movie is Haley not being super believable as the type of character she's supposed to be. Like, she really strikes me as this super logical person, not the horoscope enthusiast. And her acting is just entirely too sincere. Like, the goofier vibes for this movie work a lot better.
You know when I told you we could make pottery?
I'm gonna get that beer now.
Like, she gets to this house and is just trying to stress that she's so panicked that her friends are dying, and I don't believe any of it, even though she's delivering it with sincerity. I just want a little bit more incredulity from her statements about her friends dying and thinking it's because of a bad tarot reading. Something a little bit more like, hey, I know this is wild, but I think all my friends are dying because of a bad tarot reading. I'm just not believing this delivery. But it does make her open her door, and it is the woman from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. And she's doing some rounds this year. It looks like she's also in The Watcher by Shyamalan's daughter. And she pretty quickly knows exactly what box of tarot cards they stumbled on and is very bothered that they don't still have them. Which brings us to some lore, and I love lore. Apparently, she's tracked 3 major instances of tarot card readings resulting in mysterious deaths of anyone involved. The third had a single survivor, the person who was doing the readings, and that was her because she didn't do her own. But then she lost track of the deck before she could destroy them, and then presumably the people that own the house they rented bought them at an auction because they had all sorts of weird goodies. There are just so many different sequel and prequel options presenting themselves here.
Combining horoscopes and tarot still is the most powerful form of divination known to man.
Really? Is it really? I'm gonna be honest, I started looking up tarot card readings in this town to see if I could get one and report back, and it just turns out that that's just not a thing I can do here, sadly, but someday. And apparently this deck was made by the astrologer in 1798 in Hungary. She somehow knows this woman's full backstory into making these cards, but has no idea what her name is. Cool, sick. I guess this woman was the personal astrologer to a Hungarian count who practiced the occult, as one does. But when he and his wife were expecting a baby, the cards always came up that the child and mother would die during birth. So he banishes her in a fit of rage, but then what she saw came to be, so he then accused her of witchcraft and killed insult her daughter for an eye for an eye. While to accuse someone of witchcraft when you practice the occult and specifically had her around to be an astrologer, but go off, Count. So instead of just finding a way to kill him and the remaining people he cared about, she does a ritual to bind her soul to these tarot cards she's making, so the reading she's done for the Count and his closest associates would become twisted and lead to their deaths. So that's the flashback we saw earlier, her setting up the ritual before killing herself, which just seems a little bit extra now because you're just like stuck here forever. That seems like a much worse fate than the death you dealt them, but okay, cool. 8 and left no crumbs, queen. Point being, the deck is cursed and the zodiac is reversed, so anyone who has a reading done will face the dark side of their horoscope fate. And as expected, the only way to potentially stop this stuff from happening is to destroy the deck. So you think they'd all immediately be hauling ass back to the house, right? Or that maybe this woman would insist they go to the house because she's been waiting so long her entire life to find these cards and destroy them, but you'd be wrong. Paxton just wants to chill and wait it out, and Paige rightfully asks how you wait out a curse.
I don't know, it's my first time being cursed, so maybe get off my back about it?
I fucking love him. He's great. I'm tickled, even if he's so dumb. So instead of getting the damn cards, they do the other logical thing, try to anticipate what the curses will be to prevent them from happening. But because there's so many different ways you can interpret everything that's said, you can't really know. And it extra doesn't matter when people just end up doing exactly what they're told not to. As they're driving, the car just shuts down on the bridge, and Madeline's horoscope mentioned a bridge and technology failing. And she had the hangman, so one guess was waiting for her. She's really dumb about it too. Her horoscope specifically said she has to not run, like Haley is even stressing it again at her right now to not run. So of course she runs. Okay, that's interesting. Other people can be aware of the death omen even if it's not the one that's related to them. I'm not sure if this is limited to the people that are affected, but it does seem to legitimately be interacting with the environment, which is always fun. Wait, did it just find a rope on top of their car, or did it materialize the rope itself? This movie is so damn dark. Okay, yeah, I just like jacked up the brightness. The rope does just appear as a jump scare. The hangman brings his own equipment. Gotta give it up to Grant here though. Once he realizes what's happening, he immediately runs after Madeline and Haley to try to save them, but it is too late. You just had to stay in the damn car, dummy! I'm sure she was still gonna die and it was gonna find a way to get her out of the car, but like, you didn't have to make her a dumbass. But they now realize that the cards seem to literally be coming to life because they saw that the creepy demon fucker looked exactly like the hangman card. So I'm guessing the astrologer actually just like takes over the personified versions of those cards. And they finally realize, hey, maybe we should actually go back and get those cards, but Paxton swings in with the dipshittery this time.
This is True Crime 101. You don't go back to where it all began.
Okay, first of all, not true. And secondly, in the bounds of true crime, if that was the case, the only people who shouldn't go back to where it all started are the killers, and it's because they shouldn't return to the scene of the crime. I mean, actually, it's a great idea to return to the scene of the crime because who would be dumb enough to do that, and it would instantly make sure that the cops wouldn't suspect you. Oof, that was a close one, guys. I almost gave the killers advice to avoid the crime scenes. But this is occult rules where the curse has followed you away from the initial location and is linked to an item that you need to retrieve. Maybe if weird shit happened while you were there and it stopped once you left, you could make the argument that going back would be dumb, but in this scenario, there's no other options. Going off on your own isn't gonna do shit other than speed up your death process, especially when you've already been told that the potential solution is destroying the cards. What was the point of even visiting that woman if you were gonna listen to what she said? I don't know, guys, it just wasn't our house, so I don't know how to get the card.
And you said, don't be bullheaded or make rash decisions.
Like, I get it. He has to leave so he can come through when least expected, like his horoscope said, but holy shit, every time she pops off the zodiac stuff, it just feels like she's hurting the cause. Still can't believe he went off alone though. Why is everyone so stupid? I thought the people in Abigail were dumb, but this... Gotta run for our money here. And of course he instantly starts hearing the jester laugh because he got the fool. Doesn't mean he had to act like one though. I do actually really enjoy this scene because they switch up some of the expectations of this kind of horror. Like he gets to the door and sees the jester's reflection in the window, which usually results in one of two things. Turning around to find that it's completely disappeared, or turning around to find that it's right in your face. But it's just standing there like a creep before doing the head tilt. Chilling. I love it. That is way more effective than a jump scare. I don't understand how this movie can do so many effective things in different areas and then just ruin that. with the bridge scene, with characters not doing the one thing they were told they had to do to try to stop this. And then again, because he's our comic relief character, they do commit to some more goofy, which I enjoyed by having him like look down at his weed vape pen to be like, oh, shit, am I tripping? And this scene is actually really tense. Like, you can have effective horror with goofiness thrown in, like you're just waiting for something to pop up. They even focus in on the elevator door closing to the last second, pushing it to the wire whether or not something's gonna happen. But then that's the trick. It's getting him on the elevator. Nothing else was working. He couldn't go anywhere else. But then he realizes it matches his horoscopes of ascending numbers and being boxed into space. And I love that he realizes that in real time, but now it's too late.
Hell no.
Being that this is the Jester, it is absolutely fucking with him more than we've seen previously, but I really don't think he's gonna die, unless his pulling through for friends has different meaning where he can do it from beyond the grave. But there really shouldn't be any logical way for him to survive this with no one else around unless it's plot armor, which I would give to him before anyone else because he's in Spider-Man movies. Either way, the rest of the gang gets to the box and starts debating how to actually destroy it, whether they need to sever a connection to stop the curse or just destroy the object itself. Google is their greatest ally here, apparently.
Wait. Destruction by incineration is the best way to remove an ancient curse from an object.
Well, yeah, no shit. How else were they gonna try to destroy it? I really thought that burning was just a given. But that would be too easy. Those suckers are not burning, so it seems like it must be more of a severing connection situation. Probably should have asked Texas Chainsaw Massacre that, but thankfully they managed to get a hold of her and she's willing to come down to finish what she started all those years ago. So now we have an actual seance going so she can separate the soul from the cards, but she's not strong enough. The second they make the connection, she loses control of her body to the astrologer, who I'm guessing is pretty jazzed to be collecting on this soul that she might feel like she missed out on all those years ago, but I guess that means that she can just kill whoever she wants, even if a horoscope hasn't been read, so sick. So she doesn't really end up being much help. It now rapid cycles to Paige, and they made sure to remind us that she got the magician. Much like the Jester, she gets a very immersive scene where she's the magician's assistant and there's an actual crowd there. But then she just starts peeking through the keyhole, and I can't watch anything like that anymore because like something's gonna stab her in the eye. But no, thank God, all she gets is cut in half. Pulled in two directions, like her horoscope said. I knew that's what I had to expect, but I'm always gonna be on edge if there's a potential for eye damage. Okay, so currently I am exactly on par with my death predictions. You may think I'm wrong because Paxton seems to be dead, but they didn't show it on screen, so he's alive until proven otherwise. But it's time for another emotional reveal from Haley, explaining to Grant why she broke up with him. I guess when they first met, she asked the stars if they should be together, and they said no. But she spit in the face of fate and dated him anyway. You know, until she checked again recently and saw that it said the same thing, so just ended it when it would hurt more. Think you fulfilled that prophecy all on your own, girl.
Maybe we were cursed from the start.
And that cheesy ass 2000s emo line gives her the clue that might save them. She has to read the astrologer's fortune so it'll flip on her. Except she has no idea what her birthday is, so that whole zodiac element immediately goes out the fucking window. God, I wish Haley was a better written character. She's just so boring. Grant had some good moments, but at the end I don't really care if either of these people survive. Honestly, Haley's another one to add to the list of, oh, you think Bella Swan is bland? Have you met Haley from Tarot? And right when things were starting to heat up between them, romantically, they get attacked, so she's got to get her plan executed pretty quickly because death is literally coming for her. They're really trying to amp up the tension of her hiding here, but you're telling me that the supernatural reality-bending entity can't see exactly where she is? Stop. Thankfully, Grant shows up to save the day and distracts it long enough for her to start the reading, but of course it flips to his curse, the devil. Oh shit, it is dragging him into a fiery New England folklore death. Anya Taylor-Joy is on the other side of that fire. Oh no, he's being dragged to hell. So she starts the reading and is pretty quickly thwarted. So she tries to negotiate, and we see why they've played the heavy-handedness with her mom's death story. It's so she can sympathize with the cursed spirit's loss. Astrologer don't care though, but it bought her just enough time to finish the reading, which conveniently resulted in death, and she just throws back the whole death can signify an end or a beginning.
But in your case, it just means death.
And that seems to be working, but then she just keeps popping off motivational Instagram lines.
Fate doesn't have to be a curse.
choose to let go, Queen. Okay, so she kind of said that last line, but like without the Queen part, but same idea. I'd just be like, yo, your daughter is literally waiting for you in the afterlife. You got revenge 2 centuries ago. Fuck off with this. And they try to swirl in the astrologer's pain with her losing her mom, and it just doesn't hit here. I don't care, but it does seem like she ends up walking off with her daughter at the end, even though that is just reused footage from the lore dump. So all the cards go up in flames, the final one being death. God, I hope we get a prequel for this one. Give me that ancient Hungarian lore. Or actually, who the hell owns the house? Like, did they know what they bought? And why did they set their place up as an Airbnb and let the same person book it that broke into their private room? Again, they seem to have a bunch of items that have to do with fate and divination. I just want to know more about them. Anyway, Grant and Haley start walking back to town, and then a car shows up, and first it makes them a bit scared because Grant's horoscope also mentioned a dark road, but it's definitely Paxton showing up when least expected. And that is a wrap on my predictions. They were mostly 100% on the money. I did think he was going to show up in one of the final altercations, but, you know, being the getaway driver is great too. So what the fuck happened to him? How did he escape? Wait, are they actually not going to tell us how he got away? Are they just going to end the movie?
Hold on a second, I'm lost. How did you get out of the elevator again?
Oh shit, it was a fake out ending. See, like, there's pieces here that work so well, and then there's just all this other stuff that I'm like, if you just a little more effort and we could have really had something here. So yeah, apparently he didn't do anything. His roommate Todd just came back, so it disappeared. So good job, Todd. Wait, this is based on a book? Horrorscope by Nicholas Adams. We love some wordplay. 1 fucking minute, everyone. Okay, I read it, and it has nothing in common with the movie outside the Zodiac involvement. There's literally an entire bit about how the main character, Robin, is super into horoscopes but thinks tarot is fake as shit even though her mom loves it, so it is like not remotely similar here. It's an actual person killing students based on horoscopes written in the high school newspaper. The book was written in 1992, and I think if I'd read it when I was like maybe 10, I probably would have thought it was like decently cool, slightly more intense than Goosebumps, but then not on the level of the Darren Shan Vampire Assistant series. So I have no idea why they would give this book credit for this movie unless the author at one point pitched this book to Sony as a script, so they had to do it in case he decided to sue them, or if it was originally a lot more similar to the book and then they completely reworked it, but there is nothing in common here. I even would have slightly given them the benefit of the doubt if people were being like attacked in the order of their zodiac signs, but they don't even do that. The book is very much, wow, this person is mentally ill and thinks he's being spoken to by a wise prophetess, but it's just a teenage girl. But yeah, that's tarot. Definitely not as bad as some people are saying, infinitely more enjoyable than Night Swim and Imaginary, which is impressive because this still isn't that great. I do overall think it has a lot of fun qualities, but I probably would have just swung harder into Goofy and just made Haley interesting. Like, it's just, you can't have a main character that's that, like, if I don't care about what happens to her, you're losing me in this entire finale of the movie. But let me know what you guys are thinking down below. Where do you fall on the tarot scale? Do you think there's like some interesting sequel and prequel options here? Like, there's obviously options, but do you think they'll investigate this movie probably didn't do very well, but I don't think that's ever stopped people before. Mike Flanagan made one of the best sequels to a terrible movie with Ouija 2, the Mike Flanagan Boogaloo. But thank you all so much for watching. Thanks as always to my Patreon supporters and YouTube channel members. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Leave a like on the video if you're into that kind of thing, and all my other social medias are listed down below if you want to check me out there. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. I'm mostly okay, and we'll catch you all later. If anybody wants to do a tarot reading, get at me.